Hello, wonderful soul. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Kathleen, and you're tuning in to Blooming Lotus Healing Art. And this is a place where you find spiritual guidance as well as content to help you in your path of self-healing. So if you're watching from YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more content like this one. And if you are on Facebook, make sure that you turn on those notifications so that way you know when I go live next. Today, I am so excited to have a wonderful sister join me. I usually do the Oracle card readings tonight, but tonight I decided to talk about an event that I have coming up, and I'm hosting with a wonderful friend of mine, and just wanted to really talk about the reason behind we are creating this space, and really just kind of talk about the importance of sisterhood and what does it mean for us and what we discovered throughout the years. We've been holding space for each other for over 3 years, and we've created a wonderful, loving space that has allowed us to really create or really generate healing within ourselves, and continuing to create a space of non-judgment has been a wonderful tool for us. And I think that bringing this forward to others will definitely help this world, especially in the current events and how we are seeing so much of the shadows coming up. We definitely need to make sure that we are holding space with that divine feminine energy, that loving, nurturing space that is needed in the world. So one thing that I wanted to mention is that up until September 13th, you'll be able to get 30 days free trial for EchoSync meditation app. So make sure that you download that app. I will leave all the description, all the information on how you can get the free trial. So they usually give 7 days. You will get 30 days. So this is a really great thing. Also, I wanted to mention that, again, we have this meetup coming up next Saturday. It's going to be September 19th at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and we will be going down. I do have the link on the description of the event, so you will be able to check that out and where it's going to be and all the things that we're going to be doing. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and just bring in my beautiful sister, Edie Marshall. And let me see, let's go. There we go. Hello, sister.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much for, for showing up today and just being the wonderful friend that you are. I'm so grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you too. Thank you.
So I just kind of wanted to bring you forward because, well, first of all, we met each other back in 2015, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we had this conversation about how we were going through a tough time, and
Mhm.
and we figured out that we were both creative people,
Mhm.
and
Right.
that was something that really kept us kind of like linked.
Yeah,
I feel like
very
that was
much.
like a heart-to-heart connection there.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask you, in the last 3 years, well, it's been over 3 years, right? So
Well, yeah,
in the
5
past,
years.
it's been 5 years, right? So
Mhm.
I keep saying 3 years, but I don't
Yeah.
know. The time passes so
We're
so
stuck
fast.
we're stuck in 2 years ago, I guess.
But of course, you know, we created this space for each other, and I just wanted to ask you, what was your experience, you know, while we were doing our meta painting, and you know, we were kind of getting together. Just for those of you who are tuning in and don't know our story, we started painting records together and creating a space where we were just
You can see one of them on the wall behind me.
yeah, exactly. And then you can see mine behind me
Yeah.
too. So these were literally little babies that we made as we were like
They're milestones of our journey is really
they really are. They
what they
really
are.
are. So I just wanted to ask you, because you're definitely not the same person that you were back then.
Definitely
You've
not.
grown so much.
You
And
too.
yeah,
We both have
we
gone on
both
this
have.
wild journey. And separately. I mean, it's a thing it's funny. Like we've done it separately. We've each had our own individual journeys that we weren't even necessarily both involved in. But somehow it's like we've both gone on this similar direction, this similar path forward, and we're continuing to do so.
And then I think that that's such a beautiful thing, because we just vibe. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously you find your a friendship that you vibe with, and then you can create this. But I think what really
Right.
made such a difference for us was the fact that we were able to hold space for each other with non-judgment.
Yes.
So I think
yes.
that was the biggest tool, or the biggest part of our journey, is the fact that we knew that we would be able to go to each other
Mhm.
without feeling like the other one was going to judge her by any
Right.
means. Like, I feel like I could tell
Right.
you anything, and
Yeah.
you hold space for me in such loving ways,
And vice versa. Absolutely.
you know? And I think that I don't know for you in particular if this is something that you've experienced in the past with other women, but I feel like sometimes we're kind of like brainwashed to kind of like just look at the other person kind of like down, or maybe as somebody that we have to compete against, or you know, there's this thing about
there's
this.
something
I don't know.
in that kind of feminine energy. It does feel like a competition, you know. I mean, I don't really know exactly where that comes from. It's definitely, you know, perpetrated in the media, especially. I remember growing up and looking at magazines and looking all these things that you're supposed to be a certain way and look a certain way and act a certain way, and it just feels like we kind of put this on each other. It's I can't even say it's men doing it to us. It's us doing it to each other. You know,
Yes, that is so true.
this idea that we have to live up to this standard of femininity, of what it means to be in that divine feminine element in ourselves. You know, but my experience has always been more of that. It's always been more of the competition. I actually, majority of my life, I mostly have gravitated towards men. All my friends have been men, and it's a more comfortable energy for me, because I find a lot of non-judgmental energy around men. It's just a different vibe, and I didn't really feel the same way with women. So honestly, you're really the first woman that I really allowed myself to go down a path like this with, you know. And I think it's because you held that space too. You know, we both kind of, we both didn't want to keep running in that rat race with the other women. You know, we didn't want to keep competing. We didn't want to keep going down that path. We wanted to better ourselves, you know, and because we both had that same mentality, we were able to find our way to it. I mean, it's not like we consciously did that. We didn't consciously say, hey, let's better ourselves together. It's just, we just kind of did. It made sense. We found each other. Our energies found each other.
And
you know?
this is the key element that I love that you're saying this right now. The key element is the fact that this happened naturally, organically.
Yes.
So when we allow ourselves to open our hearts, and I remember one night, actually, we were in my apartment, and I remember I said, "Open up to me, girl. I'm not gonna." You remember that conversation? I don't know if you, but I told you, I said, just let's talk. Let's just this is a non-judgment zone. I'm not here to judge
I
you.
can
I'm
see
here
it.
to,
I don't remember
you know?
that personally, but I can see it, because I mean, obviously you kind of set the tone with that when we started doing the painting. You know, we started doing, we had this need to unblock ourselves creatively. We both had been through a lot of stuff in our lives, and we had these blocks. We weren't able to really be our creative selves, and we were feeling it intensely. So this was just like we found this thing, just the idea of painting on these old warp records you had. And it just felt like something. It felt like something we could do to try to break through the blocks we were having, you know. But then you set the atmosphere. I didn't do that. You did that. That was all you. You know, you invited me to your place. You know, you put on night. It was like dimmer lighting. We had that Zen music going. Put on incense. I mean, it was just, and you created that atmosphere, which I'm sure you said what you said, even if I don't remember. But that's how you are, you know. And so I believe you're the one who created that and brought it to life, and then we just flowed with it.
I just wanted to share something with you that I've experienced before, because when you came over to paint with me, I've already done a couple of paintings, or I started painting, and then I kind of did that for myself. So it was kind of like a natural extension of wanting to do something nice for myself, and also do the same that I would do for me for you.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you to feel comfortable, and I wanted you to feel loved and accepted and supported.
You've
And
always had that attitude. It's a special attitude.
And I think that's so important, because, for example, like I was mentioning earlier, you know, we have this meetup coming up, and I recently created a group, and I've been kind of tiptoeing around creating a group, because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time and energy. But I finally decided that I wanted to do it, because I just feel like, after experiencing sisterhood in other areas, I did join some other sisterhoods online. And after experiencing all of that, I decided, you know what, I want to do what I want to do, what I know I can offer from a place of love and compassion, and really start living that truth. Because I've experienced, you know, I've been hurt. You know, I even been hurt by other women, you know, many times, and even by friends. You know, it's just part of the process of living life, right? But the fact of the matter is that even though we get hurt, I feel like we still have to rise above those things and try to show to each other that we have the ability to connect with each other. We have the ability to connect heart to heart. We have the ability to really heal each other and hold space for each other. So that way we can really, truly allow the growth of that divine feminine energy to really infuse the world. Yes. I think it's so important. And you mentioned divine feminine, and I think that's such an important thing. And I think that holding that space where you're really creating that womb, that sacred space where you can really let go and not have to worry about, oh, what are they thinking about me? Are they looking at my hair? Are they looking at my makeup? Because we have so much that that society puts on us, you know, like society expects us to wear the makeup, to have the pretty hair, and I'm not saying that that's not, you know, if you enjoy it, it's great. But sure. I feel like you should be able to enter into a space looking however you want to look, you know, and wearing whatever you want to wear, and not feel like you're going to be looked down upon because of that.
Well, I think it starts with you. You know, it's like, no matter what you and I do, we can't change how somebody else looks at themselves or treats other people or treats themselves. We don't have that power, you know, but we start with ourselves, and we change the way we treat ourselves. We change the way we treat each other. We change the way we treat that person. And as people see that, I think it kind of, it has this influence. It has this kind of influence. I mean, there's an energetic portion to it, I think, but then there's also just seeing people who are not competing with each other, and are not one-upping each other, and are not, you know, tearing each other down. You know, is seeing women who actually support each other and accept each other for who they are. You know, I think it makes a difference. You know, so that's kind of, I think you know, we had to go through our little journey to get to that place where we could treat ourselves with that level of respect. Yes. And now the idea of bringing this group together, you know, or these groups, multiple groups together,
groups, as many as we can, right?
Yeah. Is to help give that space to other people to find that too, because sometimes you need to just be around it sometimes. and
Yes.
then you can find your way.
I think that's such an important thing that you're saying, being around people that uplift you, being around people who are looking to better themselves, who are living, their authentic self. That is something that in a way gives you the permission to step into your truth, step into your authentic self, and realize, oh, well, what's the difference between this person and me? There's really no difference. I can give myself that permission. And I think that's the reason why it's so important that we, at least for me in particular, for me, it's important to be my most authentic self. And I'm still in my journey. I'm still in my process. I'm still on my growth, right?
We'll be until we die,
right?
basically.
Until we die, but
and beyond.
But I think that allowing myself to step into my authentic self and loving my body, no matter how it looks, no matter what, and giving myself that permission and really expressing this outwardly, then it gives other women the permission to do the same. But not only that, also men, because divine feminine is not only women, it's also men. But the reason why I focus on women, at least on women right now, is because we carry it so much. It's so present in us, and it's almost like the wounded divine feminine in so many women. The only way that we can really move forward and heal that wounded divine feminine is to create this space for women to empower themselves within that divine feminine and really harness the energy, so that way they can really carry it forward with their partners, with their sons.
Well, not only that, I think personally, my view of the divine masculine is that it follows the divine feminine. So as the women heal themselves, the men follow. They're naturally gravitated. I think men naturally just want to please women. I think there's a natural tendency in the divine masculine to want to do that, to build and create, to make women happy, because that makes them happy, know. But it's like if women are all in their wounded self and they're treating themselves poorly and treating other people poorly, then that masculine doesn't know what to do. It can't fix things. It can't create this positive place, this space. So women have to start that inside of themselves, and they'll find that the masculine outside of them, inside and outside of them, because like you said, we're not just one thing,
Right.
It's like it starts within you, within the feminine, and then the masculine follows. And so we have to start with ourselves. We can't ask the men to change for us. We change.
We change first. Exactly. And then they follow. And I think that and that's a beautiful thing about it, because I feel like men get inspired by a strong divine feminine. They do. They get inspired by that. They enjoy it. They see just such a beautiful, a man that's not wounded wants that divine feminine in their lives. They want that representation, that physical representation of that divine feminine in their lives. And, we are that physical representation, right? Yes. So of course we are both masculine and feminine, all of us, but we carry more of that divine feminine within us. So it's just naturally the way it is. So why not embrace that and allow ourselves to really look within and see, where is it that I'm not stepping into my creativity? Where is it that I'm not stepping into that nurturing self? Where is it that I'm not stepping into that compassionate self? Because all of those are divine feminine. Yes. And we have a lot of, I know I experienced that for myself too, where when I step outside of my center, I can, we can become, mean and cruel, and, and it's just, and of course, because you're wounded, then of course you're going to.
You're projecting.
You're projecting that, exactly.
That's what happens when we're too caught up, when we identify too strongly with the difficult emotions and fears and things inside. We project them outward because we don't really know how to step outside of them.
Exactly. And I think that creating, at least participating in spaces that help you at least ignite that, because see, this is the thing, it's a journey. So for those of you who are watching this on the replay or watching this live, let me know in the comments. Are you liking what you're listening here, and what is your experience with the divine feminine? But one thing that I have to say for those of you who are watching is, you've got to remember that this is a journey. You're not going to go to one event and feel like, yes, you're going to feel better. Absolutely, you will, guaranteed. after you do a meditation, after you take some cacao, after you get some oracle readings and some guidance from spirit, of course you're going to feel amazing when you leave. But of course we go back into the world, right? And we go back into the everyday stuff, and then we have to keep working at it, right? We have to, it's a daily practice that we have to do.
And I tell you,
it's
something very, very nice to know that there is a group that you can align yourself with, that you feel comfortable with, and you feel comfortable expressing yourself and all of those difficult things that you're trying to process and you don't understand, that you can't find that clarity. It's nice to have a group that you can go back to and keep going back to, whether it's once a month or every 2 or 3 months or whatever, however much you need. It's nice to have that space.
Which we kind of did that for each other, right? Because for a while there, we were seeing each other every week.
Well, we absolutely did that for each other. And then we had other things to go through for a little bit, and then came back together in a different way. But in my process, I found other groups. Actually, that was kind of why I was pushing you in this direction to go towards the in-person groups, because I know that helped me tremendously. I think I started going back in June of last year, around June. I was just trying to go out in the world and see what was out there, going to sound baths, various meditation stuff. I don't just trying things and seeing kind of where that took me. And it took me on this amazing journey. I met this group, this group with this beautiful soul, Mo, who is unfortunately no longer with us. And I'm just grateful I had the time. I'm grateful I had the time with her and the beautiful people who surrounded her to rise up in my own journey. Because without them, I couldn't be here right now. And I know that for a fact. And it's not that they specifically did anything for me. It wasn't that. It was just having this place to go where we would have these little meditations. It's very similar. It's honestly very similar to what I'm trying to do with you here too. It's where you have the guided meditation and then do a little oracle reading, but it's really just a place for people who are trying to be their best selves, to come together and do something for them, for their own highest good, and just being around that and having that to come back to was, it made all the difference. I saw so much progress because of that.
And you know what? I got to go to Mo's. One of them. I didn't. You were trying to get me to go for a while, and I didn't really get to go. And then of course you introduced me to Lindy Rowan, which is the founder
that was my sound bath experience.
Yes,
Lindy.
And I was just. Like that woman is like so powerful, right?
Yeah. And now look, we're working on EcoSync, the app, with her, and I started making meditation music, to go with her on her path, which was aligning with mine. And it's just magical how all this stuff kind of came together. It certainly didn't plan any of it. It's just because I was trying to go my higher path, and this is where it took me. And where it's continuing to take me.
The beautiful thing about this whole thing is the fact that, okay, so how powerful is it that women, we can come together and create something beautiful with each other, and even for me, because in a way, it's almost like I'm almost like 2 steps behind you. Like you go somewhere and I'm like 2 steps behind you. I end up doing something. I ended up also partnering up with Lindy. And I did some pictures.
I guess I have to pave the way.
Yeah, you have to pave the way.
Clear that brush. My strength has always been tackling those things that are hard inside of me. I just go at them and cut through them until I can clear that path. And it's hard, but it's something I've always kind of been able to do in myself. So I think that maybe that is never.
Yeah, you're the warrior between both of us.
I clear the path and then you zoom right in.
Exactly, you're the warrior between both of us. You're a warrior. You're like that warrior.
I would say that.
And then I'm like the nourisher. I'm like, I want to like feed you. I want to like cuddle you. I want to like give you the love.
It's a great team.
Yeah, and I think it's so nice whenever you have somebody that's gonna do that for you. I think it's important. Like I think that even for you, right? Like you come in and having somebody like me come in and kind of nourish you. I think it's nice because we're the nourishers, right? We're the ones nourishing everybody else. But why not take an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, and allow yourself to be nourished by somebody who wants to really make you feel like a queen, like a goddess, so that way you can go back and feel nourished, because that's the problem with a lot of women, is that they're taking care of their families, they're taking care of their everyday, of their everyday activities, and they're always giving, and they're not getting anything back.
We've got to learn how to be receivers.
Yes,
that is
such an important thing.
You've got to start with yourself. You've got to put on your own oxygen mask before you start trying to give it to everybody else. Otherwise you're going to die. You're going to die.
Exactly.
You're not going to step into that higher place where you can feel secure, where you can feel that foundation, where you know who you are, and you know that you're doing what you want to do.
Yes. And and I think that's so important. So for if you are interested, you're watching this and you're kind of like on the fence and you're thinking, well, I don't know if I want to do this, just do it at least once. Just come out and allow yourself to be nourished, because you also deserve to be nourished. You also deserve to be loved and held by other women. You also deserve that, because that divine feminine is the mother, right? So, here I am, I'm the mother. I literally embody the mother, right? So it's like, here you are, like, here, like, let me just hold that space for you, because you deserve it. You will sometimes think that don't need it, but if you're frustrated, if you're feeling like you had all this anxiety going on, your mind is racing all over the place, you're dealing with, like, maybe you're angry all the time with your kids or your family members, then you need that space to disconnect. You need that space to kind of go back and center yourself, so that way.
Or also just if you feel like lost.
Yeah.
Which is something that all of us have been through. You just feel lost. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what direction to go in. So many of us find that place in the path where there's like 20 different choices here or something. And we don't know where to go. We don't know how to find that voice within that tells us that we know we're going down the path that's right for us.
And I almost feel like having other people around you that are connected to their inner voice ignites your own inner voice.
Yes, exactly. It's not like we can sit there and tell anybody what they're supposed to do.
Right.
But what we can do is give that support and inspiration to help them figure it out.
And even just sharing our own stories, right? Our own struggles, our own stories, and sharing the stories of us listening to our own inner voice kind of gives you also the cues on what is it that's going on within you, and then say, oh, you know what, that was my inner voice at this time, and kind of recognize that, so that way in the future, when you actually need to tune in, which you should tune in every day, but then you know, oh wow, like this sounds familiar, this sounds like something that would be connected to my inner voice. So, but the only way that you can do that is by creating the space and the time and the silence. That you really need to create that space.
Making that time for you.
Making that time for you.
Make yourself matter.
Because exactly, because you matter.
Yes.
You matter. So Audrey is saying something here. She's saying, when you really want something, the whole universe conspires to give it to you. I love that. And it's true.
Although you have to, the real trick is learning how to not only hear it and feel it, but listen and receive, because we were just talking about being a receiver. Yes. I mean, the universe may be conspiring to give you something, but if you're not willing to receive it, you're not going to get it.
Oh, you know what I mean? This is such a good point. So I recently had a sister from Rose Gold Goddesses, the sisterhood group that I'm part of. And she recently pretty much just gave me a lesson about receiving, and it felt, so I can just tell you, like, okay, so this is the thing, and I don't know if this happened to you in the past, but even with you, the other day you were like, okay, let me pay for your gas, for example, and I was like, no, are you sure? And I was like, and
I glared at you and I said, take it
now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. And then I realized, I was like, yeah, I have a hard time receiving. So when we have a hard time receiving, then the universe is going to have a hard time giving it to you, because you're not opening yourself up. Right. So now I'm kind you know,
the universe forced you to do that.
Yes.
The universe was forcing you, because I wasn't going to let you.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, of course. Well, because you're like the wall breaker, right? Yeah. You're like the wall breaker. You're like, no, you're taking this. But it's funny because, now that I'm I meditate every day, and I'm, embodying, I've been learning about all these different goddesses and learning all these different techniques, really listening to your body and where do you feel all these different sensations in your body, then I'm starting to really pay attention to whenever I'm talking about money or whenever I'm talking about receiving or giving, I'm starting to pay attention where in my body I'm feeling some tension. So then I can just breathe into that. But, but you have to learn all these different techniques, right? And you have to be surrounded by people who are going to show you these things. So that way you can really go out there and, apply these techniques as much as you can, and then, you need to get nourished again. You come back, maybe 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, it doesn't matter. But, hopefully you get to be regular, but if not, that's fine. It's just a matter of, whatever it is that you need, just step into the space whenever you need it. And then, whenever you're done, you go and tackle the world and then come back, get nourished again, and then go tackle the world, because that's just the way it is. I nourish myself every day. Do you think that I just sit here and I'm always like, go, go, go? No, honey, I'm taking time. I'm entering spaces that are nourishing me,
Absolutely.
and not only that, I'm also going into sisterhood. I'm learning from other women out there. I'm meditating every day. It's a constant thing. So, but that's the only way I can show up for you. If I want to show up for all of the women, all of the men that are here on this page, I want to be able to give you the best possible energy. So in order for me to do that, I have to take care of myself first. And it's not, this is the thing. For a long time, I thought it was selfish to take care of myself. I was like, oh, this is so selfish. I should be selfless.
I think a lot of women think that way.
There's this idea that we have to be, and this is like a social, I don't know where it comes from. I don't really understand where it comes from, but basically we have this idea and we're taught that we have to be so selfless that we have to forget about ourselves, even as mothers, as wives, as sisters, as friends. We're taught that we have to be so that's the only way to be in the divine feminine, and that is not true. The truth is the divine feminine knows when her boundaries are being stepped on, and she knows where she cannot give anymore, so she can nourish herself again. That's really the divine feminine stepping in.
Women especially are just really starting to come out of an entire of how long of oppression. We've been property for how long, and that's deep in our psyche. Even if maybe we didn't experience it so much, it's still in there. It's still it still comes through in the energy that we pass on from generation to generation. So we're just really starting to learn how to value ourselves instead of having someone else place a value on us.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so true. And that was my struggle for a long time. I thought that my value was based on whatever other people thought about me, and specifically men too, which I thought that if a man would value me, then I was valuable. But outside of that, I did not feel that I was valuable. I felt like I was worthless, and then separating myself from that energy, and it was a lot of inner work and a lot of crying. Let me tell you what, once I did that and I realized that, no, I am worthy.
Exactly.
I am worthy of being loved, and I am worthy regardless if I have somebody outside of me telling me that I'm worthy or not. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I am worthy no matter what. So I think that it's important that we remember this, as women, we need to remember how to really step into our divine feminine. And being into the divine feminine, it's going to require a little bit of inner work. It's going to require a little bit of, just creating some boundaries for yourself, right? But at the same time, once you go into the process, then you start really blooming. There's something that happens within you. You start blooming. There's something that changes, that just shifts within you. And then you will not be able to stop it. I mean, once you start that healing process, it's like, yes, you may slow down, or you may go into spirals, because again, everything
we all do
spiritual, we go in spirals, and sometimes we revisit things. But guess what? When you revisit those things, you're not revisiting them as the same person. Exactly. You have acquired wisdom to go back into those things.
Oh my gosh, it happens constantly.
Yeah.
You keep going through this spiral, but every time you feel these old emotions, you feel these old scenarios, and you see them so differently because you've been growing inside of yourself. You finally give yourself that permission to nurture yourself. And when you do that, and you start to learn how to step outside that negative self-talk, especially.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, that's just like we do it to ourselves so much. But like, once we can learn how to see it as something outside of ourselves and not as us, then we give ourselves the permission to really grow and expand and just change the way we think about everything. And you'll see it. I think that's part of the reason we do these spirals, quite honestly, is so we can see that growth and that change. We can see
That's
how
so beautiful. Yes. That makes so much sense, because how else are you going to really know if you've grown? If you're kind of like constantly getting new things and new things and new things, then you're always challenge, and then you're like, okay, well, am I growing? But then you kind of go back and then get the challenge, but then you can like you kind of breeze through it. You're like, oh, okay,
yeah, right. Exactly.
I can do
Exactly.
this,
Exactly.
So yeah, I can see what you're saying. It has a purpose. Well, everything has a purpose, right? So, but it definitely has a purpose in our lives. So, but I'm just so grateful that we found each other, and I'm grateful for the sisterhood that we naturally created. I mean, we've been wanting to do meetups for a while. I mean, we were thinking about doing some meetups back in 2018. We were going to do the meta painting. And
I wasn't even thinking about that, but you're right. Yeah, we had these plans. We were going to have the painting group.
Yeah, which eventually we will do that. I know we will.
Oh, no, absolutely. I know we will eventually. we're setting the stage for it right now.
I think
starting with the meditation groups, and we will expand into that. I know we will. I know for a fact we will.
I know we will. I feel it in my bones. I seriously do. So
we just have to let it
unfold.
Whatever way the path takes, the path will take.
Yes. And then one thing that I wanted to ask you too. Okay, so we didn't really do the cacao together. So we did it together, but we did it online.
Oh, yes, stream.
This is going to be the first time we're going to actually do it together in person.
Yes.
But tell me, what was your experience with cacao? Can you share a little bit with people? Like, what was that experience for you? With that I guess with that plant medicine, if there was anything.
It was actually kind of special because it was just it was cacao grown in a single area. It wasn't processed with other stuff. There's a very specific flavor of it, which really kind of ties you to the land, I guess you could say. I mean, it depends on how deep you want to get into it, but basically it's this idea of it. You feel like it came from the earth. It tastes like it came from the earth. And then the fact that you're sharing this within this kind of a positive, uplifting group, with somebody who is trying to nurture you, right, or show you how to nurture yourself with this particular piece of the earth. That was my take from it. Is it just felt like a very connected kind of thing, because we are of the earth, and sometimes we need certain things that help us quiet our minds a bit and just feel that. Just feel what that is.
And I think that also including your senses with it, like including your five senses with it. So we will do, I will serve cacao. It's not going to be a ceremony. I'm not qualified to do a ceremony, but I am qualified to serve it. Anybody can serve cacao and share it. So I will be sharing the cacao, but I will do a meditation with it. So we will do a small meditation where we will get to savor and kind of like what we did together, and then just kind of feel everything and really savor it and really take it in. Yeah. So for the purpose of opening our hearts. So the purpose of cacao is really to connect you with Pachamama, connect you with Mother Earth, and that's going to be a really important thing, because if we want to think about the divine feminine, who better than connecting with Pachamama? Who better than connecting with Mother Earth? She is
our great nurturer.
She is our nurturer, like complete. Like, I mean, if we can really describe it in the physical world, just look at Mother Nature, and that's the divine feminine right there. Which is such a beautiful thing. The creativity, all of the different. I mean, think about it. Just all the different colors of the flowers, all the different animals. I mean, Pachamama's creative. And fun and also mysterious, and also it can be angry too, and and so it's like all of those things that embody that beautiful divine feminine, and I'm not saying like angry in a negative way, but I'm just saying it like we do have divine anger.
How about passionate? Passionate.
that passion and all that, and that creative and that movement and all of that nurturing. I mean, it's just protective too. She's protective of her children. So all of those things are really are really the divine feminine, and then the cacao bean is going to connect you with that energy. So that's the reason why I decided for this first meetup that we're going to do, I'm going to be serving cacao. And of course I will be doing a meditation, which conducting a meditation that's going to be completely, I don't really know. It's going to be intuitive. I always do intuitive meditations. That's just how it works. So it's going to be a surprise. We'll see where the journey takes us. Right.
Right.
And
exactly.
and then hopefully we'll have some music. I don't know if we said that we're going to have some of your meditation music on the back.
Courtesy of the Echo. I keep saying Echo Sync app. I'm just gonna play it directly. I mean, it's music that I did, but I'm gonna do it directly from the app, which is nice too, because it'll have. Oh my gosh, I was playing it through some Bluetooth speakers the other day with some really heavy bass in it, and it's kind of cool because there's this extra layer added because Lindy added like binaural beats to the music too.
Oh,
and it has there's this real pull. I mean, it's interesting. You'll have to feel it. I like the way it all kind of comes together, but it's going to come. The music's going to come directly from the app.
That's awesome. So I'm excited about that. So for those of you who are going to participate, you'll get to experience a little bit of the app there. And of course, if you decide to download it, you already know you got till September 13th to download it, so you can get the 30 days free. But if you still download it, you still get 7 days free. So regardless, you're still going to get time for you to experience it. But if you want to just wait for to see it kind of firsthand, then definitely on the day that we have the meetup, then you can experience the music that Edie did, which is absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. And so, I mean, I have used it and it's been amazing for me so far. Well, another thing that I will be doing, of course, is the Oracle card readings, where, of course, it's, again, intuitive, and whatever spirit guides there, whatever guides come through, then that's what you'll get. And then I'll have a surprise giveaway. So yeah, it's going to be awesome, guys. So make sure you come. I'm excited. I'm so excited to have all of you participate and really just feel the beautiful energy that we've created for each other, and allow yourself that space. So
yes. But, and we also have plans to hopefully expand and do them at my apartment for one.
Oh yes.
Some here, and then if there's other places we can expand to as well. But we're planning on doing more.
Yes, we'll definitely have more. We'll definitely have more, and we'll probably be there's like the traveling meditation.
Exactly.
We'll just go everywhere, the little gypsies, which is fine with me. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to the gypsy meditation group.
That makes sense.
But okay, so we've been live for about 43 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We're gonna, as we land the plane, I just wanted to ask you, what will you tell the people who are maybe on the fence, or maybe just kind of like, oh, I don't know if I should go, or if this is really for me? What would you tell them?
The only way you're gonna know is to try it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you anything. All I can say is, come join us. It's one time, and you can go home and never do it again if you want to. But it's an accepting atmosphere. Just come and enjoy yourself for a couple hours. I mean, we're going to be a friendly, fun. It's going to be a friendly, fun, peaceful time. You're not going to lose anything to go.
Yes. I mean, if so far you like our personalities, then you're gonna. I mean, hello, like you're gonna be just fine.
Exactly.
I wanted to light up this
Palo Santo.
This Palo Santo for the purpose of just repelling any negative energies.
And I'll drink my tea out of my special cup. Out of one of Kathleen's cups.
Yes,
it's so cute. I love it.
If you want to support me and support this type of content, then definitely make sure that you purchase from my Teespring. I will leave all of the information on there. But as this recedes and it goes away, and we honor the sacred fire, I want to honor you, sister, for being such a beautiful, beautiful presence in my life. I'm so grateful for you, and grateful that we get to share this space with others, and grateful that you get to be a container for me, for me to just let my divine feminine come out and play.
Yes.
So thank you so much, and
I'm grateful for you too. We grow together. We grow together.
Yes, absolutely. So, well, thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or any questions, feel free to DM me. I'll be more than happy to help you with any questions that you have. If you are interested in going to the Sacred Sisterhood meetup, then make sure that you go to the link on the description. You're going to have the event, the Facebook event. So make sure that you go in there and book your ticket. If you don't want to book, if you don't want to do it online, make sure you DM me. I'll be more than happy to just write you down as somebody that's booked. The only reason why I'm asking for people to do this ahead of time is because we are trying to be as safe as possible during these times, but at the same time, create a space that, at least create a space in person, so that way we can really connect with each other. I feel like the energy is so much better when we're in the same space.
Absolutely.
So,
it makes such a difference. These online groups are beautiful, but when you can actually get together in person, it's a whole different vibe. It makes a huge difference. Yeah.
So as I presented this to Edie, I present this to you who are watching, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
And namaste.